I'm going to show you guys how I oil undercoat things. Stop the rust, prevent rust, whatever. You know, up here in the Northeast and out in the upper Midwest there, this is the the Rust Belt. So a lot of salt and stuff on the roads and equipment and trucks and everything. Just they don't last unless you oil them. So you can see the oil in my pickup here. That's all oiled up, and that's the way it looks after years of coats. But you know, tailgate, everything. There's a little rust here and there, but you know, overall, you know, I got some paint flaking, and this truck's I mean, you can see the salt spray on it. This truck's a '06, and I bought it new, and you know, oiled it every year. The frame is awesome. Cab's in good shape. I just got a little bit on the fenders, but you know, up a little pocket up in underneath the underside of the fender well. These plastic flares that they put on, they're actually the worst thing because they just hold the. You can see they got a little gap between the metal, and it's just pockets of. I mean, you could spray the crap in there, and you try and wash it out, and spray the oil in there, and they rot eventually. The fronts are worse than the rears here. Some point I might put new fenders on it. I don't know. We'll see. This is basically my own blend after years and years and years of messing around and trying to come up with, you know, perfect blend of oil that sprays easy and doesn't just wash off. So we have paint thinner, red grease, Lucas heavy duty engine oil stabilizer, bar and chain oil, and that's another thing of paint thinner. And what I do, I'll take a couple tubes of red grease. You know, I got a 5-gallon pail here. This is some old stuff from last year that I did. You can't really tell the consistency in there, but it's pretty thick. But that's, you know, I take about 2 tubes of red grease, 2 gallons of I cut the red grease with the paint thinner first. Then I add in, use this immersion blender here to do it. I'll show you in a second. But then I add in a couple gallons of bar and chain, and then engine oil stabilizer, and cut it with paint thinner until it's sprayable. So. So that's the red grease there. I don't know if anybody's familiar with this Lucas oil stabilizer, but it's thick, nasty stuff. You can see it's just like honey. And this stuff here actually really does a good job of staying on with the grease. It stays right on the frame. And you can see how stringy it is. That's tacky. That's stringy and tacky. Just like good lube. I'll just wash this container out with a little paint thinner. Now, I use paint thinner instead of mineral spirits because number one, mineral spirits cost more. We're doing this on a budget. Number two, mineral spirits is a little more refined than paint thinner, and paint thinner has a little more volatiles in it, and it evaporates off faster. Because that's the whole principle behind this is you know, you use the paint thinner to thin everything out so it's sprayable, and then the paint thinner evaporates off and leaves behind the thicker oils, and that's what gives you protection. The other way to do it is to heat it, which is a pain in the neck. You know, you have 30 feet of hose, and to try and keep the oil, you get oil in a pot. You know, it's on a cold day like this, you got oil in a pot, and then you got 30 feet of hose. It cools down by the time it sprays, and it's just easier to just thin it out so it's sprayable, and it'll evaporate, and then the paint thinner and the lighter volatiles will evaporate off, and you can't use the environmentally friendly paint thinner because it's not as volatile. So I'm going to blend this up and see where it's at for consistency, and then start adding I always add the bar and chain last because the bar and chain's pretty thinned out already, and we just use that kind of as a filler. And the bar and chain has some rust, R&O properties, rust and oxidation. So that's good to have in there. Let's see if we can give you guys a shot of this. So you can see how thick the thinner stuff's on top, so you got to blend it basically. And this blender will get hot because it's working, but it's working overtime to blend this thick. It's not like making split pea soup here, you know. This is a cheap one. I don't know, Hamilton Beach. Got it at Walmart or something. Looks good. There's no need to buy a fancy one. You're just gonna put it in the oil here. See, grease. It's getting thinned out though. I've got a few clumps in here still, I can feel them. And the trick is to go up and down like this, pump it. Get a pumper. Because if you just swirl it like this, the old swirl technique, it just pushes the clumps of grease around. So you gotta kind of mash them up like you're making mashed potatoes. Changed the fits because I pulled it out actually out of the coil and got some air. There we go. I run it, you know. Run it right on the ground. It's still pretty thick, but I'll show you once we get it thinned out a little bit. It'll start, we're getting there. It's thinning out. It's still pretty damn greasy, but I'm gonna put a gallon of bar and chain in, and then I can always, you know, cut it with a little more thinner if we need to. Well, apparently this one's already been opened. Somebody brand new from the store, and somebody already used it. Bastards. Can't have nothing. You can see bar and chain is pretty tacky too, but it's not quite the same as put a little more. I know we're going to need it anyways. A little more thinner. I just wash these things out. So I've got probably, I don't know, maybe almost half gallon of thinner I've used so far. We'll blend it up some more here. Now, this is a lot better here. I thinned it right out. I had another gallon of, put the other gallon of bar and chain oil in there too, but it's you don't want to use your wife's immersion blender for this. Sink it right in there. Make sure it's mixed up good. And you can see it's pretty liquefied now. I don't know if you can see that, but that's going to spray a hell of a lot better there. So we'll go do it. And don't think you're going to stay clean doing this either. This is like, you know, keep plenty of rags, and the shit gets everywhere. All over your hands, all over your boots, all over everything. So. Make sure the lid's on good. God forbid you spilled it. At least it'll only come out a little bit at a time, not the whole damn thing. So, I just got this up there draining. Try it again here. This is good. I can't hold the damn camera and do all this shit at the same time, but try and straighten that out a little bit, get her in. This bottom. Take your rag, stuff that in, and it keeps pressure on the hose, and that way it doesn't come out on you. Alright, let's see where we're at here. I'm actually going to pull this grate out of here for a minute. Alright, let's see if this sprays any better here. We got full pressure in our tank too, compressor. So that's going to help things out a lot. Oh yeah. Coming up the hose quick now. So I'll just give you a quick shot of the sander here and what we're going to do. You can see it's kind of rusty in there. I painted it years ago, and that's what it needs. Maybe in the spring here I'll sandblast it or sand it down and give it another coat of paint, but I'm not doing that now. So for now, I'm going to oil the crap out of it. I messed around with that yesterday. The mud wasp built a nest in the air filter. The mice had a nest in there. I mean, no matter what you do, this thing was hanging, 6 feet off the ground on chains. I don't know how the mice got in there, but they did. They worked their way down a metal chain and built a nest in there. So overall it's in pretty good shape. I mean, it got some little bit of rust. I'm gonna spray all that up and kind of give it a good coating. I mean, this thing, I bought this 20 years ago, and it was it was used when I got it, and overall I had to put a new chain in it last year. That's the other thing we're going to spray here is the chain. I had to put a new chain in it because the other one busted, and you can kind of see that in there. I kind of sprayed this up with some of that power blaster yesterday, because I washed this thing out good last spring when I put it away, and it was all frozen up. The chain wouldn't move and this and that. So you got to make sure you oil them up before you put them away and before you use them. And keep them oiled. The salt just does wicked stuff to it. So that's what I'm going to be coating. A couple other things here. This right here is the spray gun I use. It's CarQuest S157. It comes as a kit. That hose is too short, so you can see this is the gun. I've tried all different ones. This one here sprays a high volume, and it really works the best. So that's the gun. I got probably 20 feet of hose. I tape it right to my air hose. On the end that I put into the pail of oil, I stick a piece of electrical wire, 12 gauge, just electrical wire, or a coat hanger, anything would work, to keep the hose from, it wants to curl, so you can straighten it right out with a piece of metal, leave it hanging out the bottom just a little bit, and that'll keep the suction end up off the bottom of the pail, and so it doesn't get, so it's pulling clean fresh oil all the time. Every once in a while you'll have to plug off the end of the blowgun and hit the trigger, and it forces air back down through the line. But once in a while you get a clump of grease or something that's not totally dissolved, and it gums up the works here. So I just take this end and you know, poke it right down in the pail here. Sure, the lid's on the pail. That can go down in there. Try and keep it kind of straight, like I was saying. That goes down in there like so. That works out good. The other thing, you need a good compressor. You can't be, I mean, I guess you could use a nail gun compressor, but you'd be here all day. I mean, I've done it in the past with a nail gun compressor, and boy, you know, the max you get if you're just constantly running it is about 30 psi, and it's just not enough. So I use this one. This is I don't even know, I got probably a 80-gallon tank on there. You know, double piston. That puts out some air. Usually I run it off the house, but it's all, the cellar hole's all buried in snow, and I don't feel like shoveling it to get to the wire. So I got the generator out here and plugged in. So I'm gonna get this up and running, let it warm up, and let it get up to temp and filled up with air, and then we'll do some spraying. The other thing, if you're gonna spray any kind of a mount, you want to wear a mask. Not your COVID mask, but you need an air breather mask for, you know, volatile solvents if you got one for paint spraying. Double cartridge. This shit's nasty, you know. I mean, if you're under the truck, and it takes hours, you know. If you're under there for an hour breathing this crap, and then the mist is everywhere, and so you really, I'm not gonna worry about it today because the wind's blowing and I'm outside just doing the sander. So but if you're under the rig, I mean, if you're doing any serious stuff, you put a mask on, because it's and glasses help, but the only problem with glasses is they mist, you know, the oil gets on them in the first 30 seconds, and you know, you can't see a damn thing, can't see what the hell you're doing. So that's up to you. I mean, it's smart, but I wouldn't, sometimes you just gotta not do the smart thing. All right, so we'll I'm gonna get this fired up. There she goes. I'm not going to film all this, because what's going to happen is this oil spray, the droplets are going to get all over the camera lens, and then I'll be spending the next 3 hours trying to get the lens of the camera clean. So as you can see, this is the process. This you can probably see the mist coming out of here, the vapors. So I'm saying you don't really want to breathe it, but works pretty good. So I'll get this, take some more video of it later. I got the old style gas motor cables, just run them right through the plug, a little plug in there, and ran them right through the body, back of the body. I cut the wires and just put some quick connects in there, some plugs, so that I can take this off, take this part off, and then just run those wires out. This comes off, knob, cable comes apart here, and I just snake all that through and then put together in the truck. So that's the clutch. That's on and running. Pretty good now. Boom. Oh yeah, that was noisy. Another thing while I'm out of here, I probably pull this plow off, and maybe I can get it without pulling it off, but these are hollow and they always rust up in there. I'll probably give a shot of oil up along the top of the blade where the metal, that piece of 3/16 meets the molding, the plow mold, mold board. I'll probably hit this up a little bit here and there, but these things are hollow. You can get into them from down there, but the salt always gets in there. I'll probably hit this thing up quick. Guys love the snow. Register's right up there. Big pile just cooling off. Of course, Buddy's laying in the mud and the grass. So there it is. It's all gooey. Gooey, gooey, gooey. Sprayed up. It leaves a nice, nice film behind. It prevents the rust. So it all sprayed. You can see how shiny it is there. That's all wet oil. It just leaves this nice film on there after the paint thinner is evaporated. Just leaves that good layer of protection that doesn't really wash off too easily. So there you have it.